if we look out into the future, 10, 20 years out, U.S.-China relationship seems like it can go to a dark place of Cold War, escalated Cold War, or even hot war, or to a good place of anything from frenemies to cooperation to working together. So in this game theory, complicated game, what are the different trajectories? What should U.S. be doing? Like, what do you see as the different possible trajectories of U.S.-China relations as both leaders start to feel the age AI more and more and see the importance of chips and the importance of AI?
I mean, ultimately, the export controls are pointing towards a separate future economy. I think the U.S. has made it clear to Chinese leaders that we intend to control this technology at whatever cost to global economic integration.
So that
it's hard to unwind that. Like the card has been played.
To the same extent, they've also limited U.S. companies from entering China, right? So it is, it's been a long time coming. At some point, there was a convergence, right? But over at least the last decade, it's been branching further and further out, right? Like U.S. companies can't enter China, Chinese companies can't enter the U.S. The U.S. is saying, hey, China, you can't get access to our technologies in certain areas, and China's rebuttaling with the same thing around, like, they've done some sort of specific materials in, gallium and things like that they've tried to limit the U.S. on. There's a U.S. drone company that's not allowed to buy batteries, and they have like military customers, and this drone company just tells the military customers like, hey, just get it from Amazon because I can't actually physically get them, right? Like, there's all these things that are happening that point to further and further divergence. I have zero idea, and I would love if we could all hold hands and sing Kumbaya, but like, I have zero idea how that could possibly happen.
Is the divergence good or bad for avoiding war? Is it possible that the divergence in terms of manufacture of chips, of training AI systems, is actually good for avoiding military conflict?
It's an objective fact that the world has been the most peaceful it has ever been when there are global hegemons, right? Or regional hegemons, right? In historical context, right? The Mediterranean was the most peaceful ever when the Romans were there, right? China had very peaceful and warring times, and the peaceful times were when dynasties had a lockhold over not just themselves, but all their tributaries around them, right? And likewise, the most peaceful time in human history has been when the U.S. was the global hegemon, right? The last decades. Now we've sort of seen things start to slide, right? With Russia, Ukraine, with what's going on in the Middle East, and Taiwan risk. All these different things are starting to bubble up. Still, objectively, extremely peaceful. Now, what happens when it's not one global hegemon, but it's two? Obviously, and China will be competitive or even overtake the U.S. Like, it's possible, right? And so this change in global hegemony. I don't think it ever happens like super peacefully, right? When empires fall, right? Which is a possible trajectory for America. They don't fall gracefully, right? Like they don't just slide out of irrelevance. Usually there's a lot of shaking. And so, what the US is trying to do is maintain its top position. And what China is trying to do is become the top position, right? And obviously there's butting of heads here, in the most simple terms.
And that could take shape in all kinds of ways, including proxy wars.
Yeah, it seems like it's already happening. Like, as much as I want there to be centuries of prolonged peace, it does not. It looks like further instability internationally is ahead.
And the U.S.'s like sort of like current task is like, hey, if we control AI, if we're the leader in AI, then and AI significantly accelerates progress, then we can maintain the global hegemony position, and therefore
I hope that works.
And as an American, like, kind of like, okay, I guess that's going to lead to peace for us. Now, obviously, other people around the world get affected negatively. Obviously, the Chinese people are not going to be in as advantageous of a position if that happens. But, this is sort of the reality of like what's being done and the actions that are being carried out.